Hello and welcome to another episode of Literary Gladiators, the show where we discuss and debate literature in all of its forms. If it's written work, it's game. Let's meet the panel.
Lily.
Kelsey.
Charlie. And Josh. Already. What are we going over today?
The Necklace by Guy de Maupassant.
Already. The French pronounce that as E. What's our first question?
How would you describe Mademoiselle Lascelles?
She's a very demanding person, and she's very, she possesses material values.
Idealistic. Very idealistic.
She wants it.
Idealistic to a degree. I thought more materialistic.
That's what I thought. Because that necklace, that dress. Oh, I gotta have it.
Well, she's obsessed with this ideal that she wants her life to be.
Yeah, she's
And
obsessed
she's
with the
dwelling on it.
idea of the aristocratic life. I understand what you're saying.
To her, I'll quote page 133 in the Barnes & Noble version of Guy de Maupassant's short stories. There's nothing more humiliating than to look poor among other women who are rich. So she has to look exactly like them, if not better. So she needs that particular
She's
dress.
superficial.
Oh yes, indeed.
Kind of reminds me of someone I know at Christmas time or whenever. If the neighbor had 5 reindeer, this person would have 12 reindeer.
Oh, the idea of living like the Joneses.
Yeah.
I'm not sure if I interpreted this right or like understood it, but I think it's very interesting that this is all prefaced by the narrator, I guess, saying that all women are, because their women are of a higher class. Did I read that right?
She was born into a family of clerks. She was she had that mentality of being an upper class woman, but she was not born that way. She was in complete opposite situation. Ended up in a more middle class situation. Married to a more modest man. Very patient man too.
Yeah, I was gonna say.
Willing to put up with her nonsense.
I was gonna, I noticed that he started to near, I think in the middle, it's like, you idiot, or about something about the dress, nothing about the dress, the necklace, and about go ask your friend, and she, so, I don't know.
I don't know, that could be the fact that
But he was patient.
yeah, he was patient.
He had a
The
lot of
fact that the
patience.
friend had the valuable necklace. And
Maybe the whole idea of that thing having value and then, spoiler alert, turning out to be valueless is a comment on the idea of
Taste.
caste having no value.
Now they work what, how many years? 10 years to get?
10 years to redeem themselves.
Yeah. Woo!
It's all like surface value. There's nothing beneath it.
That's very common.
Now wait, if it was paste, wouldn't you realize that at first once you put it on?
She didn't realize it. She'd probably just like the way that they looked. She really didn't
She was
care.
mesmerized by the sparkle. That was
So
it.
yeah, that's true. Because I would notice. No, I'm not going to go out and put a necklace on. Please don't ever think that. No, I would know right off the bat. I'm like,
Well, if it's a especially good knockoff, how you'd have to be a jeweler to know the difference. I would. Or
That's
have an
where
eye
they went
for
to,
it.
and they didn't find much success.
I mean, I
they
did
had
wear a
to-
necklace in
They had to
high
get
school.
something like it, and the thing that they could find that was like it drove them into
Dead.
debt. Yeah.
Depression.
and they find out, and we're dealing with money that is, it's not U.S. currency. It's different. It's francs, right?
Yeah, it's
But now we're not talking about a hot dog.
It's the French currency.
Yeah. So
Former
it's a little
French
hard for me to understand the currency, But I can tell it was really expensive.
Very aggressive. Which leads us to our next question.
I love questions.
What do you make of the turn of events at the conclusion of the story?
Ha ha ha. No, seriously.
Standard case of irony.
Yeah.
It's one of the perfect cases of irony, which is.
And you feel bad for them too. I did laugh, yeah, haha. But it's like, you think about it.
So upsetting.
Yeah. you feel bad for them.
Well, to think
I
of
feel
such a
bad.
high price for something fake. People work all their lives to attain a status, to earn a living, as they say, when they're already living and breathing. And then in the end, what do they have? They can't take any artifacts of that status with them to the grave. It all goes up in smoke and
Can't take it with you.
like the flag. But at the same time, a lot of things are assumed. The fact that it makes sense that no matter what you borrow, you should take care of it
That's
and
right.
be careful with it. And
Every now and then, just check on
And
it.
if you're not, you should always be truthful
Mhm.
about
yeah,
what
that
happens.
is true. And it took her 10 years to even say something.
Yeah.
And that they, instead of just going up to her and saying,
I'm
I
sorry,
I lost it,
Yeah.
You
and
know.
then having to pretend that it didn't happen. And then also the fact that there was no mention to her saying that kind of thing to her. But yeah, we touched on all of that.
Yeah.
The-
Another thing I wanted to say is how she aged. You know, now obviously 10 years you're going to age a little bit, but you know, with all this stress, you know, there's some people out there then they stress and and you can tell by their face. You know, you know they work like they don't do that 9 to 5. You know, they do that 9 to 12 and then sleep for 4 hours and then go back to work the next day.
I think presidents are a prime example of what
Yeah.
stress can do
Oh
to
my
you.
gosh.
How
Presidents,
quickly
I would
they
say
there.
CEOs,
their
police
terms.
officers, the military, you know.
Yeah.
Abraham Lincoln, when he was assassinated, he was 56 years old, and he looked like he was 90.
Yeah. so-
90.
And he
yeah.
had a
Yeah.
tough presidency. He had a decide.
Civil War.
The
Yeah.
tough is an understatement.
The fact that states were breaking away from the Union.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I mean, I watched the movie, Lincoln, and it was shocking, you know. Great acting too, but still, you know.
It's amazing what
You can
stress
tell.
can do to you.
But at the same time, he was in such a dire situation. There was a lot on the line. There was a lot on the line with abolition, but even though people tend to misunderstand that a lot of the war, a lot of it had to do with the states' rights.
yeah, it wasn't over slavery. There was, to a degree, a slave trade in the North, and the North was willing to profit off Southern slavery,
It was still something that needed to be addressed because it was a human issue.
of course,
But-
but it wasn't the
Yeah,
focus.
it was not the focus.
But going back to
Never.
how President Lincoln felt that there was a lot on the line, and there definitely was for Madame Loisel, it was the same situation. In her life, from her perspective, there was just the same amount to her on the line,
Mhm.
and that stress really got to her.
They were just struggling to live.
Let's say
Yeah.
let's say she was 50. She was 50 going on 85.
Yeah.
Okay, let's just say she was 50. I don't know exactly.
Hmm.
50 going on 85.
Maybe I would say.
Mhm.
I don't know.
I don't know.
Well, she was
I'm just using
so,
that as an example.
you know,
It ages.
aged that her friend didn't even recognize her.
Yeah.
So.
And yes, we have, of course, 10 years. You look, you know, in 10 years from now,
But still,
Yeah.
like,
I don't even want to
Not
know what
that
we
much
look
of
like
a
in 10 years
change.
from now. I'm going to have a chin that can sink the Intrepid.
Mm.
Already done.
What's our next question?
Our next question is, do you feel this story is inspired by future works, including episodes of sitcoms and cartoons, and approaching the consequences of not being careful?
Yes.
definitely.
I would agree.
There was an episode of SpongeBob.
I love SpongeBob.
The episode where
With the boots, yeah.
I was thinking about SpongeBob and Patrick painting Mr. Krabs' house.
Oh,
with
because
the
they
dollar.
go
That's
over
a
the first
funny
dollar,
episode.
right?
And the paint was, he said it was permanent.
Yeah.
Mhm.
He's like, I just like I can't do the accent. And you
yeah,
got it.
that's a really good.
But then then he comes home, they try to hide it, just like Madame Loisel did with
You know,
the
they actually
necklace.
had the, you know.
And then he just licks it off. Okay, good as new.
Yeah.
But I think
It was just,
with
you know.
both situations, everybody lost out because the fact that the paint wasn't permanent
Yeah.
really.
I like how Patrick spent that $1 on a candy bar. Want a bite? You know, that's my character in the show, I guess. Kind of Patrick.
But I definitely think the lesson that this story brings about, and like the turn of events and everything, is definitely found in a lot of places. And I don't think you really realize it until like after you read the story, and you're definitely focusing on it, and you can see that it's all over the place.
Mhm.
So.
Yeah, that is.
Isn't that the old cliche about the sitcom where the kid borrows dad's car? Just like he'll never find out. Then of course crashes and has to
That's
hide
another
it.
sitcom almost.
Yup.
Yeah, that is.
But they have to adapt.
Yeah, 16 Candles.
They
Like,
pretty
Yeah.
much the way that they sitcoms not there are not too many original ideas, especially in cartoons.
Yeah.
But the thing that makes us like them so much is that they're, you know, maybe not original ideas, but original interpretations, or just funny in general.
Or
Maybe-
people like to see the particular characters in the particular situation.
it's more approachable for like a certain type of audience, more modern.
And with cartoon characters, they can be. You know, I had friends tell me that I could have been a cartoon character because I get injured so many times.
Be a cartoon character.
Yeah, like an
no.
old school 90s one too. Like,
Yeah.
always walking into things.
Already then. Do we have any final thoughts about the necklace?
Go Squidward!
Maybe see if you can try to find it in some of your favorite sitcoms and movies.
Mm.
You know?
Definitely look at the concept that we presented to you today and
Taking something, borrowing something that supposedly has value from another person,
Just think,
breaking it and losing it, and then
take
having
care
to
of
hide it.
things.
Right.
Yeah, take care of things. If
Be
I was,
honest.
yeah, be honest. And if I was to lend you a pair of drumsticks and say, be careful with these, and of course these break eventually. You know, does that happen? Yeah,
Other
you gotta
example.
Be careful.
the balloon from SpongeBob.
Mm-hmm.
No, you stole a balloon. Yeah, that was funny.
And it was free balloon day. So
Yeah, and you
it
know
was
what?
it's just the idea of overreacting. Not the fact that you don't. You shouldn't have to cover something up because just let things play out, and
Mhm.
maybe it's not going to be as bad as you think it is.
How about the one where Mr. Krabs buys the boots from a pirate for like 5 cents, and then it turns out he gives them to SpongeBob and tells them they were made for fry cooks, and then he loses
Squeak,
them
squeak,
because they
squeak,
squeal,
squeak.
so Mr. Krabs hides them.
Oh, that's where
Yeah.
Ari made a reference to that in Literary Enthusiast.
Now I
episode.
know.
He
why
asked
that
me.
was
He asked me why I ate boots.
Now I know where that's from.
Already then.
We watched it. I'm like,
Let's get back to the necklace
Yeah,
and
yeah.
say that.
Well, you see that theme everywhere was the point we were making.
Oh, the necklace is very easy to find. It's in plenty of collections. It's
Very
in
easy read.
it's in this Guy du Maupassant collection from Barnes and Noble. This is really it has
time to drink.
many of his short stories, not just the necklace, but Ball of Fat.
Hey, what'd you call me? And he looked at me too.
There's Bed Number 29, A Peculiar Case, The Horla, so many others.
The what?
I think it's a term. He's a French writer, so.
Very good one too.
But it's also in one of the Dover Thrift collections, short stories.
Short story.
Already done.
My favorite.
Be sure to join us next time for another episode of Literary Gladiators. For now, keep reading.